Picture this. You walk out of your house one morning, smile at your coworkers, say things like, "It's fine," "whatever," or "maybe next time." The day moves along, you work, message friends, talk with family, everything seems fine, but deep inside there's a quiet emptiness, not because anything is wrong, but because it feels like a part of your voice has faded away. I've met hundreds of people like this, strong, kind, intelligent individuals who unknowingly lose their power through small, harmless words. One woman once told me, "I don't understand why people interrupt me in meetings. I speak politely, softly, and I always apologize before I talk, but no one seems to hear me." I told her that your voice isn't weak. You're just using words that make others believe it is. It may seem small, but the words we use daily reflect how we see ourselves. The Stoics understood this deeply. They believed that speech is a mirror of the mind, and the mind is the foundation of life. Seneca once wrote, "What you speak not only reveals your mind, it shapes it. Every word you choose either strengthens or weakens your inner world." We live in an age where people talk constantly, yet few understand the true power of language. We say sorry when we don't mean it, maybe when we fear rejection, fine when we're anything but fine. We use can't to mask fear, should to live by others' expectations, whatever to hide emotion, and always or never to start unnecessary wars. But to the Stoics, every word was an exercise in self-mastery. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Let your words be simple, honest, and necessary." Those three, simplicity, honesty, and necessity, are the cornerstones of a steady mind. So today, let's explore 7 simple words you probably say dozens of times a day, that quietly rob you of respect, presence, and strength. This isn't about silence, it's about awareness. Because in a noisy world, the person who speaks with clarity holds real power. 1. Whatever. When calm turns into surrender, we often mistake whatever for peace, as if saying it means nothing can hurt us anymore. But whatever isn't peace, it's retreat. I once had a client, a woman in her 30s, successful, confident, seemingly unshakable. She told me, "In every relationship I end up saying, whatever, it's fine. I don't care anymore." Then she smiled. That tired, hollow smile people wear when they've stopped believing things can change. When I asked her, "Do you really not care, or are you just afraid to be disappointed again?" She went quiet, then the tears came. Because whatever wasn't calm, it was fear disguised as detachment. Fear of being hurt, of expecting too much, of giving and not receiving. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Don't run from reality, look it straight in the eye." Stoics don't use whatever to escape emotion. They face life fully, even when it's painful. Because only through confrontation do you find freedom. So the next time you want to say whatever, pause and replace it with, "Here's what truly matters to me." The moment you speak honestly, your power returns. 2. Sorry. When apology becomes a way of disappearing. Sorry is one of the sweetest words, and one of the most dangerous, because often we don't say it out of sincerity, we say it out of fear. I once coached a young woman in New York who told me, "I don't understand why no one takes me seriously. I always say, 'Sorry, can I just say something?' but they still talk over me." I said, "You don't need to apologize for having a voice. You just need to use it." She looked at me as if no one had ever given her that permission before. The Stoics understood that apology is humility, but the wrong kind of apology becomes surrender. Epictetus once said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." Every time you say sorry without reason, you quietly declare, "My thoughts are less important than yours." And that belief shrinks you, not just in the eyes of others, but in your own mind. So save your apologies for when they matter. When you're truly wrong, say, "I'm sorry," with full sincerity. But when you're simply trying to be liked, say, "Thank you for your patience." That's the language of calm confidence. 3. Maybe. When uncertainty destroys trust, I once worked with a CEO, smart, respected, and stuck in the trap of maybe. He said, "I can't decide. I'm afraid to make the wrong move. What if I miss a better option?" His issue wasn't lack of opportunity, it was lack of conviction. The Stoics taught that clarity is a form of virtue. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Don't waste energy on what you can't control. Act on what you know is right." Maybe is the language of fear. It delays, confuses, and erodes confidence, both yours and others. A clear no might hurt someone, but a lingering maybe hurts everyone. Next time, instead of saying maybe, say, "Let me think and I'll give you a clear answer tomorrow." Decisiveness doesn't make you cold, it makes you credible. 4. Can't does it. Build a cage around yourself, 2 small words. Can't. They sound harmless, but they lock the mind in chains. I once met a former athlete who lost his ability to walk after a car accident. He told me, "I can't live like before. I can't be happy anymore." I looked at him and asked, "Or maybe you just don't believe you can." The Stoics never said "I can't." They knew that nothing is truly impossible, only untested. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." When you say, "I can't," you declare defeat before even trying. But when you say, "It's hard, but I'll try," you awaken the fighter within. A year later, that same man became a fitness coach for people with disabilities. He told me, "I lost my legs, but I found a strength I never knew I had." That's Stoicism, not denying pain, but using it to grow. 5. Always and never. 2 small words that kill connection. Have you ever heard someone say, "I say today, you always do this," or "you never change"? Sounds familiar, right? Those 2 small words, always and never, just can destroy trust faster than any insult. Because no one is always or never anything. But when you use those words, you freeze people in an image they can't escape. I once counseled a couple who had been together for 10 years. They loved each other deeply, but were trapped in a cycle of blame. You never listen. You always criticize. Every argument added another brick to the wall between them. The Stoics understood that precision in speech is the foundation of peace. Epictetus taught, "Speak of things as they are, nothing more, nothing less." When you say always or never, you're not speaking truth, you're speaking pain. And pain tends to exaggerate. So instead of saying, "You never care, try," "Lately I've felt a little unseen." That small shift turns accusation into understanding. The Stoic doesn't use words to win, they use them to understand. And that understanding is what brings calm to the heart. 6. Fine is also the most common lie we tell ourselves. Fine might be the most overused word in America. Someone asks it, "Hey, how are you?" And we respond automatically, "I'm fine." 2 words that sound polite but often hide a storm inside. I once asked a client, a successful entrepreneur, "How are you really doing?" He laughed, "I'm fine, just busy." But when I looked into his eyes, I saw the truth. After a few seconds of silence, he said, "I'm exhausted. I've lost touch with myself. I don't even know what I'm working for anymore." Fine is how we cover pain with politeness. But here's the truth. What you avoid facing will eventually show up through stress, sleepless nights, or that blank stare in the mirror each morning. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "Do not fear to look at reality. It is never as bad as your imagination." The Stoic doesn't deny pain, They face it with calm courage. Because avoidance never heals, awareness does. So next time someone asks, "How are you?" take a breath. If you're not okay, say, "Not great, but I'm working through it." That's not weakness, that's strength. Only those who are truly strong can be honest about their struggles. Fine gets you accepted, but honesty sets you free. 7. Should, sir. The word that steals your freedom. Should sounds harmless, but it's one of the most dangerous words in modern life. I should be more successful. I should be happier. I should have my life figured out by now. Each should wraps a rope tighter around your neck, a rope made of expectations, comparison, and guilt. I once coached a woman in San Francisco who constantly blamed herself for not being a better mum. She cried and said, "I do everything, but I still feel like I'm not enough." I asked her gently, "Who told you that you're not enough?" After a long pause, she whispered, "I did." The Stoics don't live by should, they live by choose. They know that freedom begins the moment you stop living to please others. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning, "Don't let the noise of the world drown out your inner voice." When you replace should with choose, everything changes. I should go to the gym becomes I choose to move my body because it makes me feel alive. I should be happier becomes I choose to find peace in what I have today. One word, but it shifts you from victim to creator, from pressure to peace. And that's what Stoicism teaches us. You can't control the world, but you can always choose how you walk through it. Every word you speak is more than sounds. It's a mirror of your inner state. We think language is just how we communicate, but it's actually how we define who we are. So let your words reflect a mindful mind, a steady heart, and a soul that's true to itself. Maybe now you see, and language isn't just how you talk to others, it's how you talk to life itself. Each, whatever, sorry, maybe, can't. Always, fine and should becomes a brick in the wall between you and your authentic self. They bring short-term comfort but long-term disconnection. I've seen this in countless faces. CEOs, doctors, artists, people who look successful but feel hollow. Not because they have nothing, but because they've said too many words that aren't true anymore. The Stoics practiced a simple discipline: observe your words each day. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Let your speech be short and true, for words not only express thought, they shape it." When you change your words, you rewire your mind, and that's where real power begins. Try this today. When you want to say sorry, say thank you. When you want to say maybe, say I'll decide by tomorrow. When you want to say I can't, say I'll try. Small shifts, but each one helps you reclaim ownership of your mind. Because Stoicism was never about speaking less, it was about speaking consciously. Not to impress others, but to respect yourself. Because words don't just make impressions, they shape your soul. Remember, strength doesn't come from silence, it comes from knowing when to speak, and speaking as someone who's fully awake. If this message resonated with you, stay with us here at Stoic Awakening More, where every video is a quiet conversation between you and yourself. Because sometimes, one sentence, heard at the right time, is enough to make you stop, breathe, and realize you can always choose again. If you're ready to choose, leave 3 simple words in the comments. I choose clarity. Because when you choose clarity, you're choosing freedom. And when you choose freedom, that's when you truly begin to live. Peace is not the absence of noise, it's the calm within it. And I hope after today, you find that calm right inside yourself.